Garth Brooks is largely responsible for ruining country music. And that doesn't mean I don't like him. So I had a bunch of people ask me about my opinions on various country music artists, so I figure why not throw them all into one video. Now, it's no secret, I'm a big fan of old country. Somebody did ask my opinion on Dolly Parton, and I mean, there's only one opinion to have. Woman is a goddamn national treasure, a hero, an icon. She's like Mother Teresa, but not a shitty person. Not liking Dolly Parton's just un-American. It's fucking inhuman. Even if Dolly's music isn't necessarily your jam, even if it's not the first song on your playlist, which I get, there's songs that I usually want to rock out to more than Dolly, you still gotta respect the fact that she's Dolly Parton, like she's a huge philanthropist. Not like those bullshit philanthropists like Bill Gates. Back in the 80s in Sevier, her home county, which is a really depressed rural part of Tennessee, she set up the buddy program where kids in 7th and 8th grade, if they found a buddy and partnered up to hold each other accountable to make it all the way through school and graduate, she'd give them $500. In 1989, she gave every high school student in Sevier County a $500 scholarship for college. She also has the largest sanctuary of non-releasable bald eagles in the country. She gives away $75,000 in college scholarships every year. She raised $500,000 for a hospital in her home county. Her foundation gave $1,000 a month to families who lost their homes in wildfires in the Smoky Mountains in 2016. And because it's Dolly Parton, she's like, wildfires seem like a good time as any to give away more scholarships too. She gave a scholarship to every single kid who graduated high school who lost their home in that wildfire. She donated $1 million to Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital in honor of her niece who they treated for leukemia. She also gave them a butterfly garden because why not? Fuck, she spent $1 million to fund COVID research. And on top of all of that, while her state is busy trying to ban children's access to any book but the Bible, she started the Bitch Please Let Them Read Foundation. Sorry, it's for children. The Imagination Library, which for over 30 years now has been mailing books to kids around the world for free. By 2018, they'd mailed out over 100 million books and were mailing out 1.3 million books monthly to kids everywhere for free. So yeah, if you don't like Dolly Parton, then fuck you. Wait, what was this video about again? Oh yeah, country music, right. Back to Dolly Parton. Even if you're not the biggest fan of her music, you still have to appreciate the songwriting. Is there a more iconic song than I Will Always Love You? A more relatable hit TV theme song than 9 to 5? And if Coat of Many Colors doesn't just a little bit, you don't have a pulse. In fact, the woman tries to write a song a day and estimates she's written over 3,000 songs. She has over 25 top 100 country hits, more than any other female country artist in history. Like I said, there's only one opinion to have on Dolly Parton, unlike Hank Jr. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind Hank Jr.'s music. I've listened to it my whole life. Country State of Mind even makes the list on some of my favorite songs. He's got some good music, but he's also got a lot of cringy shit, like If the South Would Have Won, We'd Have Had It Made. Like, oof. And as much as I do like Country Boy Can Survive, it's really just Try That in a Small Town, except it was written and sang by somebody with talent and has a little less of an ear-piercing whistle in the background. And honestly, without that luxury ride on Daddy's coattails, I don't know that Junior would have ever actually had the success that he has. And just him as a person gives me real meh vibes. He played a show up here once, and somebody from my hometown got the opportunity to take him out fishing. And I was like, God, that must have been a cool experience. And he goes, yeah, it was okay. Now, if you're one of the most famous singers in the world, and that's somebody's reaction to getting to take you fishing, you're probably kind of a shitty person. And the guy, in just the most Minnesota nice way he could say it, goes, yeah, I feel like he doesn't know a whole lot of anything about anyone around him. So when he asked, do you want a drink? Do you want a party? The answer is probably not with you. That said, that is a good song though. But moving forward, we get into the 90s, and this was still a great time for country music, and you can't talk about the 90s without talking about the king, George Strait. King George can do no wrong. Back to Garth Brooks, the man who ruined country music. Here's the thing, if you say you don't like Garth Brooks' music, you're probably lying. It's good music. You know it's good. I know it's good. The man is an incredible singer, songwriter, and entertainer. He was selling out like stadium shows in like Ireland or Switzerland or some shit. He's like the top selling solo artist of all time. He's damn near as big as the Beatles. Honestly, that's how he ruined country music, was by being too good at it. He showed that country could sell out stadiums and sell records as good or better than rock and pop. And seeing all that potential money to be made, the big companies came in and did what they always do. They fucking ruined everything. Turned country into shitty manufactured pop songs, and country ceased being its own mainstream genre. Basically turned country music into the GM W body platform. There's a niche reference nobody's gonna get. Take the same chassis or song, slap a different emblem on it, sell it to a different group of people. This happened at the same time Toby Keith also decided he wanted to ruin country music. Toby Keith came up through the 90s too, and he was good. Should have been a cowboy, still a theme song of my childhood. Being a child of divorce when you were still one of the only kids you knew who had divorced parents, Who's That Man, still still resonates with me in a way that few songs do. But then 9/11 happens, and Toby Keith writes a cringy, shitty song about putting a boot in your ass, and the Dixie Chicks called it out for being a cringy, shitty song, as well as saying they didn't support the Iraq War and they were ashamed to be from the same state as George Bush, which, I mean, who wouldn't be? And then, taking valid criticism like a fucking child, Toby Keith goes and photoshops a picture of the Chicks with Saddam Hussein and puts it on stage with him on tour everywhere he goes. He gets the Chicks blacklisted from country radio, and the genre just shifts at that point to this hyper-masculine pandering trash. It really almost gets women blacklisted as a whole. And obviously, there's been some big headlining female artists in the genre since the early 2000s. Major mainstream artists has been like, what, Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood, and Taylor Swift? And before that, major female artists were a staple. Faith Hill, Martina McBride, Dolly Parton, The Judds, Tanya Tucker, Patsy Cline, Reba McEntire, Leanne Womack, Leanne Rimes, Trisha Yearwood. You get the point. That's why mainstream country music died in 2001. But the good news is that thanks to the internet and social media, real country music is making a comeback. And eventually, it'll put a boot in bro country's ass. It's the American way.